All right, my babies, how are we? Uh, I have been off script for the past like two videos, and this is also off script. So maybe minor updates. Like I actually took the weekend off, even though Tuesday I was planning on like actually working. Saturday and Sunday I was planning on working on like kind of like focusing on work. But I saw my cousin, and we ended up like it's the second time I do this in like 4 or 5 years, like drinking throughout the day. It was a fun experience. It was definitely like interesting to see me after a long time, like not really like a bit tipsy, but like how I am. It's just like kind of fun to see. The word I want to use, see my company enjoyed, which right now is making me reflect on how intense I've been for a while, right? And as proof is the guy that we were like the place that we were drinking at. We were actually drinking, uh, and that guy had a restaurant, and he's practically going through a whole lot of things right now. But it was never my place. I've been through them. Like I opened a restaurant about like 15 years ago, my first restaurant, and I opened it basically with the whole like passion for success kind of drive, which I don't think you can get through a restaurant unless you are very refined when it comes to how you did it. Like you actually go through everything from branding to structure to business model. You have to like you have to the detachment, I don't know, you really have to like break that relationship into a different one than just uh I think it's there's the ego that plays in it, specifically restaurants. Like you kind of want to be the person that hosts people. I think it's a drive that we have as human beings. So if anyone wants to actually like open a business, specifically like these ones, the ones that are very much interacting with people and from a service perspective, so there are a lot of always emotions that are being translated. So you really have to kind of like be solid. But it wasn't my place to actually engage with him on any of the stuff that he's going through or the patterns that I saw in him that I went through. Right? It's like I've been kind of like firm. Yeah. So like I've been trying to be honest with myself. So when I first saw him, the first thing I realized that I wanted to discuss how he decided to like, create the restaurant and. But then I realized that I'm a bit biased, and then I realized I might be imposing, which probably was not the case. But so like he's a childhood friend, right? So like it allowed me to it allowed me, and again, like I'm verbalizing it for the first time right now because for the past 2 years I've literally just been kind of like going there and enjoying his place and just kind of asking random questions. Just like I want to understand how to better handle whatever it is, like opinion I have, whatever it is, like especially when it comes to like this is my work, right? This is what I do for like kind of like research and stuff like this. I'm trying to kind of create this. I'm kind of trying to socialize myself. Is the best way to say it because like really I can I only talk, or it seems like look every person has a bias in the conversation, so like they kind of like take the conversation to things that they always want to talk about, right? And whether it is sports, whether it is like people fill the awkward silence with many things. So whether it's sports or the weather or shit like this, or it just could be like business, it could be like social like networking, it can be like fucking golf. I have no fucking idea. People talk about stuff, and we're always kind of like biased to the things that we kind of like. And I think over the past like 2 years, I've been trying like to socialize myself in a way where I don't really always interact and that like my where my ideas applied on the business. Although I tried with him first, and he's the first person that tested my. Oh, that's okay. So this could be an interesting thing. He was the first person that tested my website, and there's a lot of vulnerability when it comes to like I'm done, I want you to see it out, and I'm kind of like fingers crossed it worked. It worked on the computer, but everything when it becomes online, you have to deal with different protocols, thought processes, because like sometimes like it's information is traveling back and forth. Like with the computer, you're literally like not even a quarter of a millisecond away, and it still takes a second. But online, it's different. It, it travels places, and mistakes start showing up when you're not managing your code properly. And the code literally is like pipes, right? Like it's like if you were to connect separate places in the house, these are the things that you kind of like interact with. You need two pipes here, one pipe here. On this pipe, there's a lot of water going there, so you need a bigger pipe, or you need to separate the pipes, right? Like so you have to think in a way of transfer of data, and it's all kinds of data. Not to get too technical, but it's like information data and there's code data because there are like multiple things that you wrote at one point that needs to be translated in different situations and events that bring it out. It's super fun to think about. But so it was a vulnerable place for me and like opening the website. And he tried it and it didn't work. And I think at that point I kind of felt like I was all talk. And so for a while, as I go to his place, I'd go like once a month or once every 2, 3 months. It doesn't matter. But I kind of go and I'm always reserved. Like I shouldn't be embarrassed and I'm still working on it, but in a way I felt like I disappointed him. So I think that allowed me to like look at myself and be like, okay, so understand not understand the feeling, but in a way you can find a relationship with him where he would still kind of like where you would still be able to gain the best out of like the fact that he actually has a restaurant and you know him and my website is catered towards them their market first. And so in a way, consciously, I guess, I started interacting with the resolution of it. And each time kind of like interacted in a way, subconsciously knowing when to like, or consciously knowing when to like not go a certain route because it's too personal, not go a certain route because it's too opinionated, right? Like you notice yourself when when you're speaking and you're like, okay, I, I don't want to go there or else we won't be able to continue this conversation. People tell you when they're uncomfortable. And sometimes, like, just some people are not really focused with you, right? So you're kind of like losing them. And in a way, it was like a significant part of my like change because like every like month or 2 months, I have enough time for me to assess, to do things differently, and kind of like go to a uniform place where I have people that I know and discuss about the things that I care about. And it kind of worked. And this weekend, I ended up kind of like having fun, I guess. That's not what I wanted to start to talk about, but it's fine. I'll do it in the next video. The idea behind I really think the idea behind gratitude, it really, it really takes your brain because of the meaning of it, right? Like gratitude, let's Google the meaning, but gratitude is basically being grateful for who you are, right? So for what you have, sorry, or where you are. It's the state of being grateful, thankfulness, how to use gratitude in the sense, right? Like, gratitude is the state of being grateful. And I guess the minute you do that, you kind of like open your eyes on the thing that made them happen. And in a fun way, like I didn't want to like make a video today, but I saw myself kind of like having random thoughts. So I was like, instead of like just just thinking of random things, right? And I noticed that I was actually like observing them because I was like trying to watch TV. So I said, instead of that, what can I do? And I was like, you know what, man, I actually like need to write a thank you letter because I ended up kind of like things are working, are kind of like revealing themselves differently. So I figured I'd write a gratitude letter naturally for the universe. And as I started writing it, I was like, okay, so like how actually can I write this letter in a way that allows me to not be, I don't want to say egocentric, but like so it has to like lay on it on principles. And by the end of it, I was writing, I will meet the journey with, and I wanted to kind of like list my principles. And my principles are seven. For the longest fucking time, I can't like seem to just understand them. I trust them. I know what they are. But if anyone asks me like, what are the principles? It always felt like I was. It always felt that I was like forcing myself to remember something that's a part of me. I couldn't get them into memory, and then I got to it, which allowed me to start the video, tell you the story about what happened. I don't know how much of it was actually like connected, but I feel like I did a good job. And end this video by talking to you guys about the seven principles of Bushido in the next one. But before that, what I wrote was bravery, loyalty, courage, kindness, respect, and integrity. And I stopped there. And then I was like, shit, man, like I really have to go and like understand the Bushido code properly, the virtues of Bushido. And so I looked at them and I added compassion, duty, honesty, and sincerity, which allowed me to kind of like feel like I think each one of them is connected to a different aspect of your ego, but I'll discuss it in the next video. Woohoo! It's a video, my babies. Yeah.